We are continuing our series where we compare our jobs with some others. Once again, here is what was your most exciting day on the job?
I guess the most exciting day, let me think about that one. Probably be the day we got a skid load of life jackets in, and they turned out to be scuba diving equipment, and it was pretty crazy. They didn't let us keep them.
My most exciting day was in 1969 when a lady was having a baby. The ambulance was called, the fire department was called, the police was called. I was the first to arrive at the scene. The baby was in its process of coming out, and I delivered it. Some 40 years later, I was at an event, and I met this young man, first time in 40 years, told him who I was. He introduced me to his family and relatives. It was like I was a long-lost relative who had returned home. Very overwhelming.
Okay, so one Saturday we were packed. It was crazy busy, and Amber had called in, so it was just Kayla and I, and we were really busy, and a school bus full of people showed up, and I don't know how we handled it, but it was crazy and exciting, and that was the most fun I've had.
I remember my kids telling me about a classmate of theirs that had been missing since the previous morning. Nobody was able to find him or his car. I was able to find out that where he had stayed, when he had last used his cell phone, when his cell phone went off the network, who he had talked to that morning, where he was likely to be going, what his plans probably were, all with the underlying thought that this was all happening on a day where we had probably the most dense fog that I remember ever having had in Kansas City for a number of years. I called the helicopter, one of our absolute most valuable tools that we have in a toolbox. A short time later, I got a call from them that they had discovered his wrecked car off the side of a road in a ravine, basically pinned in a spot, the only spot where you would never see the car from the road. I remember being the first one on the scene and seeing the wrecked car and thinking, gosh, I don't know if anybody can survive a wreck like this, and I've seen a lot of them. I remember making my way down the ravine and seeing Jacob pinned inside the car, upside down. I really could only see his hand. I remember making my way around and reaching into the window, really to kind of confirm what I really thought to be the worst. And as I reached and grabbed his wrist for a pulse, he squeezed my hand. This kid who had a brain injury, a broken femur, a collapsed lung, a broken ankle, a broken heel, and a myriad of other injuries, all the windows broken out of a car for 36 hours in the cold, had somehow managed to survive. I remember thinking my heart might stop. It was a great day to be a cop that day. We're off the clock, but I don't think any of us are ever really off duty. It was an even greater day to be part of the bigger first responder system, to watch the firefighters as they cut them out, to watch the paramedics take care of them and get them to the hospital. And it was the start of a great friendship between myself and a brave young man named Jacob Fisher. So for me, that was a pretty exciting day to be a cop.
Major John Armelio, upon his retirement, said, "When you look back on your career, you never think, that sure was a good memo I sent out last week. You remember your time on the streets." If you have what it takes and would like to have some exciting on-the-job memories, consider joining the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. I'm Officer Shelley Gaddis. Have a safe week.